happy about that. So you're welcome to pet her, just don't touch her antlers, don't tap her on the top of the head, okay? When you guys are out there feeding them, please don't feed the babies, okay? And don't touch the top of their heads because of their antlers, alright? Here is velvet on the reindeer antlers, that's what it feels like. And this is moose velvet, okay? Alright, well, most of you have already asked you not to touch antlers. Reason being, okay, they're growing right now, so they aren't hard bone like this yet. I don't want to stab into it. Look out, Mary, okay? It's soft tissue under there. It's like this, but it's soft, so it's very breakable. There's also a lot of nerve endings and 2 main arteries going up each side of the antler, alright? So the nerve endings, when you grab on, kind of make it feel like you'd get your hand slammed in a car door. If you would grab on and it would snap any part of it, they could bleed to death because of those arteries. So that's why we ask you not to grab on. They will brush up against you when you're out there feeding them, you know, or you'll brush up against them. Not a big deal. Just don't grab on. You found your perfect pet, didn't you, sweetheart?
Tell Daddy that's
Now, do you guys know the difference between a reindeer and a caribou? Anybody here? Any ideas? Oops. Excuse me, I need to go. Turn that off, shut off. Well, in the meantime, thank you very much. There is really no difference. Caribou is a reindeer, only bigger. Caribou is a Canadian word that's only used in the United States and Canada. Oh. Hey, at least the water will be nice and fresh, right? This one will end up overflowing too, so. Anyway. Everywhere else in the world, reindeer and caribou are called wild reindeer and reindeer. Reindeer being the domesticated or living behind a fence, in other words. Now, reindeer are very unique in the fact that they're the only animal where the male, the female, and the baby all get antlers, as you can see. Hey, sweetheart. Every other animal, only the male of the species get them. Antlers fall off every single year, and they grow back every single year. Thank you. Antler material is the softest growing tissue on the planet. It grows 1 to 8 inches in 1 day. This is 7 inches, so you can imagine. Only takes about 3 months for an antler to grow to full size. And it stops growing, the blood flow stops. This is the button. Bone hardens like this and the velvet splits, okay? And that's why they rub, to get it off of there. It itches. It looks really nasty, a lot of blood stuck up there, bugs bother them, plus it itches. When reindeer have a baby, excuse me, it weighs 10 to 20 pounds. They usually double their weight in the first month or so, mainly because their mother's milk is 18% milk fat. Mary, we've been raising her since she was about a day old. So she's a lot smaller than a reindeer, normal reindeer her age. There's a bigger one out there right there, actually, Belle, who's younger than Mary is. And you'll notice when you get down there how much bigger she is than Mary. She got her leg hurt. Her mom kept trying to get her up. Started to where she was hurting her, so we couldn't let her. We're so not a lady. Anyway.
Gotta go, gotta go.
I know, gotta go, you gotta go. We're no matter where. But anyway, so she bonded with us, and then Mom wanted nothing to do with her, even within a couple of days. So we had to put Mom out in the far field, and we've been raising her ever since. Now, reindeer are unique in a lot of other ways, other than the fact that they're the only ones that get antlers. You know, all 3 get antlers. And I'm going to, if you look at this one really close when I pass it around, you're going to notice the line, the major line. This is because the velvet on this was very tight. That was the artery, and it's on both sides. Their antlers act, here you go. Their antlers act as their cooling system in the summertime. When their body temperature has to stay at about 101 degrees year round. So in the summer, the warmer blood would go up there, you know, cool it off and send it back. In the wintertime, all their legs have 2 main arteries, 1 on each side. Leg temperature drops to 33 degrees. So their body knows just to let enough warm blood to keep it 1 degree above freezing. Excuse me. Now, I'm sure some of you have been on a boat. I'm sure you guys have worn life jackets. If you don't, please do. Well, reindeer, all deers, whether it be elk, moose, whitetail, blacktail, they all have hollow hair. Reindeer, okay, have so much of it that they have a built-in life preserver. They cannot sink. One thing a reindeer will never do is drown because they can't sink. Okay, they float. Whether it be their summer or their winter coats, they float. Last year I took and put a rock on a piece of, a bunch of this and left it there for a month and took it off and it bounced right back up. And you guys are welcome to try that yourself if you'd like. When you look at that, obviously makes them the best swimmers because they do float. Now when you look at like on her hooves, they're split in the front, they have dew claws on the back. Well, in the wintertime, they spread those out as far as they possibly can, and they walk on top of the snow. Their hooves act like snowshoes. Even a 600-700-pound reindeer, a 900-pound caribou walks on top of the snow. Same snow you and I would sink like a rock in. The other antlers you see out here are, we have a moose one over there, we have elk over here. Now, the size of a reindeer's antlers and the points on it have nothing to do with the animal's age. It's strictly how much they eat and what they eat. Okay? The largest one you're going to see today, you can't miss them. There's a couple of them catching up to them. But is 2 years old. This came off of a 2-year-old. Okay? So that we have some out there that are a little older, smaller antlers. Okay? You're welcome to pick any of those up. Play with them, drop them, whatever. They won't break. Now, the points on the elk, larger points mean 1 year of his life, and any of those that haven't seen the elk yet, he's down that direction. It's Eddie and his harem. You're welcome to feed him the tall grass. He likes to be pet, but once again, don't mess with his antlers. The females you're welcome to feed, but they will probably try to bite you if you try to pet them, so please don't try to pet them. Do let go of the grass when you're feeding them. Now, there's, excuse me, you don't have to worry about being bitten when you're with a reindeer for the simple fact they do not have top teeth. They have about 6 or 8 little baby bottom teeth on the bottom. So you're going to get what we like to call reindeer kisses. Am I overflowing it? Yeah. Cool. Anyway, and we have restrooms where you can wash that off. All right. Now, when you're out there, you're going to hear a clicking noise. It's not their teeth, obviously, because they don't have top teeth. Well, I guess I'll water them on for a while. It's not their hooves, because as you can see, we don't have any concrete. What you're hearing, there we go. What you're hearing is a tendon that goes up the back of their legs. If you look at her legs, you'll notice that the back's bent, the front's straight. They all have knees, but the back ones, it's like a giant rubber band, and that's what's causing that noise when they wash it snaps. Yeah, now the main thing it does is 2 things. Number one, it makes it so that they can run up to 35 miles an hour for up to 50 miles without stopping. That's like from here to Anchorage without, taking a breath. The other thing it does is they can't kick backwards, so you don't have to worry about it when you're behind a reindeer. Now, even though they can't kick backwards, doesn't mean they can't jump forward, okay? Don't do this. They're going to think you're playing keep away. Don't do this. They're just going to go behind you and try to smack it out or keep hitting you in the butt until they get a hold of it. Best thing to do when you're feeding them, if you don't want to keep feeding the same animal or if you want to take a break, put it under your arm, put it in your pocket, do this. It'll take a few seconds for them to realize that you have no food, but this is the key, empty hands, okay? They'll move on to somebody else. When you do feed them, you're going to slide this back, pour it in their hand, and just offer it to them. Now, if you fed one and you go up to another one and the other one won't eat out of that hand, don't worry about it. They have personalities just like we do. Just change hands. Okay? Now, there is some that'll kill a reindeer faster than anything except a hunter. And that is garbage bag plastic, candy wrapper plastic, anything like that, even the size of your fingernail. So if you have any papers, whatever on you, please shove them down in your pockets or throw them out. Should you see anything, because we get some heavy winds through here, we'd greatly appreciate it if you'd pick it up for us, okay? They do have 3.5 stomachs, so they do chew their cud, but unfortunately it's one thing they can't digest and it blocks them up. And before the symptoms show up, it's too late for us to do anything to help them. Do you guys have any questions about them or anything like that? Nothing? Everybody? Cool. They're very timid animals. They're very gentle animals. So should you get panicked, please don't go screaming and running through the yard because they will go screaming and running. Not screaming, but running. I'll be with you in a second, guys, okay? When February we have something called the Fur Ronde, and we do the running of the reindeer just like the running of the bull. People pay really good money to get run over by these, but trust me, you don't want that to happen today. All right. Any gate that's open, you're more than welcome to go through. Any gate that's closed, please do not open it. All right. Now, don't feed the baby the pellets, and don't pat them on top of the head. Anybody else, you're allowed to feed the pellets to. These guys, reason is that they eat the pellets, But Mary took a big mouthful from somebody about a week ago, and I had to stick my hand halfway down her throat. And if you notice, I have very long necks. She was choking to death, so I had to get it. And I really don't have to do that again. It's disgusting. So, now there is something that I'll bet you nobody here knows. All of Santa's reindeers except for Rudolph, who we have here, he's sitting right over there with the big white nose. First of all, his antlers look nuts because he's a steer. He can't be a dad anymore. Antlers are directly connected to the hormones, okay? So when we messed with his hormones, we messed with his antlers. Some years he looked normal, some years he doesn't. But all of Santa's reindeers except for Rudolph are girls.
No.
Any of you guys got any ideas why? I'm sure the women know why. But directions, girls. No, just kidding. It's because the males drop their antlers right after rut season, which is the beginning of December. Because antlers fall off every year, grow back every year, where the horns, like on Dolly, stay on her head. They're connected to her skull. Females will keep theirs into February, longer if they're pregnant. They will, they will drop them right before or right after they have their babies. Okay? So, any questions? You guys ready to go out there? I know they act like they aren't interested in you, but wait till you get down there, trust me. Now, if you walk up to